team. Hello, folks. We're live. It's the Bradley J Show or whatever, and we're with Dave Herlihy from O Positive, and we're here because we're celebrating the fact that he's going to be at City Winery with the big Chachi Beatles show coming up, and it's a celebration of Ringo, and Dave is going to play Ringo songs. So we'll get into the
Yes.
details, but uh, I know people don't stay long a lot of times when they're watching this stuff. So let me tell you,
Hmm.
there's something cool to do on Sunday at noon at City Winery Boston, which is right near Haymarket Station on the T. And it's a fun time. It's a Beatles, kind of a Beatles extravaganza with
Hmm.
prizes and video clips and live music from Dave Herlihy, who is a Beatles lover.
I am.
And most of you know Chachi, and turns out that Dave had a very similar experience early on with the Beatles, similar to Chachi's experience. You live kind of in the same area. He was in Cambridge. You were in Watertown,
Right.
on the border. You went to the same record stores. You had the same initial experience. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. I mean, we're pretty much the same age, and I remember one of my, I just always loved music, and I saw the Beatles on Ed Sullivan, and it was crazy, and when I was 6, and what do you remember when you're 6? I
Not
mean,
much.
really, right? But I remember that. I remember watching them black and white on the Ed Sullivan show and saying, "Wow, this is really amazing." And my sisters were freaking out, and I just loved it. I love music, and my mom got me the album with their 4 faces on the front, which says "Meet the Beatles," and on the back it said they write their own songs. I was like, "Okay, sign me up. That's the
At
thing that can be done, right?"
6 years old. So
Yeah.
Ed Sullivan had a bunch of artists on that didn't resonate with you like the Beatles. What is it about the Beatles that got you?
Well, I mean, in retrospect, they're just freaking great, but they look cool. I mean, it's easy for me to say now what was so cool about them, but I just saw them and they just seemed completely like from another dimension. And the songs were great. They look cool. Um, and I love music. And the thing that really attracted me, my 6-year-old self, was just their music. And I just wanted to know all about them. And when you're 6, anything is possible. And I just love music so much. I just played that record to death. And it just completely opened up my spirit to music. The show itself was just like the doorway, but then I went through and my mom got me the album, and just how great the songs were and the harmonies and the way they sang together, and just the whole thing just completely expanded my brain when I was 6.
By the way, just having a conversation. I saw a special on Brian Wilson and the Beach Boys the other day.
Hmm.
The Beach Boys have never resonated with me. How about you? And if not, why not?
Well, I thought they were kind of square. They kind of look dorky in their striped shirts, but I
And
mean,
they
the
were all
songs
about
were
the beach,
great.
and I'm not a big beach person.
Yeah, it just seemed. I mean, it was fluffy, and just they sort of had a theme and they stuck with it. The Beach Boys. It just seemed. I mean, I'm with you. I mean, I think Wilson's a genius, and the arrangements and the songs and the orchestrations are phenomenal. But I kind of feel like it was a very um, kind of um, it was a vertical you could expect,
Yeah.
whereas the Beatles were just completely expansive and changed and developed and grew. And I think the Beach Boys kind of built themselves a straitjacket. I mean, you're not going to have your dark Beach Boys period, right? Really?
Yeah. Well, they talk about Pet Sounds being kind of that
Yeah,
way.
no, and actually, I take that back. I mean, Brian Wilson, he was lyrically just introspective, and the things he was doing in the studio were pretty crazy, and some of his lyrics were pretty introspective. And so I guess I take that back. But I think the veneer of the Beach Boys was a little goofy for me,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Okay, so back to the Beatles. They open your spirit to music. Tell me about the leap from listening to music to making it. I don't think I ever talked to you about this. What was
Yeah, well,
what's your foray into making sounds?
I was actually when I was in grammar school, I was in a glee club and I was singing all the time, and I sang with my friends and my family, and I started a band in 4th grade. We didn't even know how to tune our guitars, but we were writing songs. So I just always liked to play. I remember I took some guitar lessons when I was a kid, and I just watched my guitar teacher and some other guy who was playing with, and they were playing, and the, I could just almost see the music traveling from one guitar to the other, and it's just I've always been mesmerized by that, and armed with the notion that one can write one's own songs, it just became a vehicle for doing my own thing with a guitar. And so I just was, when you're a kid, you say, "Yep, I'll do that," and I just love music so much. And so the agency that I got from the Beatles, they write their own songs. It was like, okay, that's a thing. And so it literally just enabled me to see myself doing that, and I've just been doing it ever since. And so I was in bands. In grammar school, I learned how to play guitar a lot. I was self-taught,
In grammar school, you
and
were in a band in grammar school.
I was.
So what grade and what was the name of the band? I'm fascinated by band names.
I don't know what the name of the band was. I don't know. We never did any gigs. We did write our own songs though.
What grade?
Fifth and sixth.
So you were like practically a toddler.
Yeah, and
That's great.
we.
I mean,
But I was
I
watching. I
suppose
was
you can. How old are you? 10? I suppose you can
yeah,
probe the.
10.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, and and our friend had drums, and we went to his house. We didn't have a PA. We couldn't do any recording, and we basically just ripped off songs that we liked. I like the Monkees, and I like not yeah, Stepping Stone. Down, 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 down. Really cheesy stuff, and we just did our own cheesy stuff, and we made up songs. They weren't good, but they were, And so it's just I just was always doing it, and I've done it for so long. It's just um, it's just a thing I do now. But I wrote songs, and um, then I learned how to play guitar. I used to slow my turntable down to 16. You had 33 and 45 and 78 and 16. I would,
16. I don't ever remember 16.
yeah,
Is this a
it
test?
was
Is this a
16.
test? I-
No, it was
I've never figured it
16,
out.
33, 45, 78. And so,
16.
yeah. And so I would play Led Zeppelin at 16. And so instead of Heartbreaker going down, 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 but I don't, we go. And so I had enough time to find the notes, and I would play those records at 16 ad nauseum. God rest my mother's spirit for enduring that. But I would just play those records over and over again and learn how to play. I didn't even know what the names of chords were, but I was just like cavemaning my way through learning how to play guitar that
Did you
way.
have a dream at the time to be on the stage like those folks? You must have.
I don't, I guess I did. I guess I did. I just was so driven to play. And I just remember, like, eh, I mean, the one summertime, I played probably 7 hours a day. I was not a very popular kid. So I just stayed in my house and played guitar all day. And then I eventually began to suck less. And then all of a sudden I could play. And then a friend of mine showed me a chord chart. And I was like, wow, chords. And so then I knew that I began to learn the names of the things I had figured out so then I learned how to communicate. And so it was very much slow, real. I mean, there's no YouTube. It was all just me trying to listen to 16 RPM LPs to figure out how to play.
Didn't even. I'm still kind of. I didn't even know they existed. A 16 RPM.
Yeah, I didn't never even know what a 16 RPM record was, but one day I realized, wow, 16 is about half of 33. And if I play Led Zeppelin 2 on 16, I'll be able to figure out what the hell Jimmy Page does in the middle of Heartbreaker.
For some people are saying that they can barely hear me. They hear you fine. I wonder why that is. I hear me fine.
Hmm.
I hear me fine.
I hear you fine.
You hear me fine.
I do.
Yeah. Well,
Can you turn yourself up? Maybe. Turn yourself up.
check, check, check. I mean, on my little meter here, I'm.
You seem pretty good to
out.
me. Hmm.
I guess I'll just speak louder.
Oh, there you go.
Loudly.
Yeah.
Okay. My first thing. When I shouldn't be talking about me, but I listened to Cream records.
Oh, yeah.
Cream was one. I had like 10 records. Got them from Woolworths, and my father worked at a tannery, so there was extra leather around.
Oh, wow. Oh, interesting.
Pipes, heat pipes. It cut at different lengths that were left over from building the house. He built the house himself.
Hmm.
So I wet the leather and pulled them over the the heat ducting and made a drum set.
Wow, that's awesome.
And played it with wooden
Holy
spoons.
cow,
And played
that's
it
great.
with wooden spoons. And I remember playing. Well, I also
White
remember
Room, you play White Room,
of
White Cream.
course,
Dum 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 dum.
and All Right Now by Free. And
Oh
there's a
man,
little drum
great
part,
one.
the drum part that goes kadoo, 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 boo, boo. And then
Down, 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 down. Oh
yeah,
yeah, man. I used to love, Free and Bad Company. That was like Mountain, Leslie West,
oh man, yeah.
all those guitars, that sort of really warm Les Paul Marshall sound. That's like, that's comfort food for me.
Now back to you and the Beatles.
Hmm.
Well, back to you more. If you just joined us, Dave Herlihy is a musician. You probably know him most likely from O Positive. He's going to be at City Winery, Boston, with the Come Together Beatles show, and he's going to be the live music. I,
Yeah.
you've done it so much you don't get nervous, right?
I don't get nervous. No, but I do. I want to get in the moment of it, right? And so I just have to play enough so that I can just be it, be the thing, be the
Yeah.
song.
So
And then if I, yeah,
is it more difficult to do a cover because everybody knows every note than it is your own thing?
no, not really. I think the tricky part is, I mean, there is a mechanical aspect to it, right? You're playing the guitar on these notes, and you got to hit the strings properly. And then you also want to sing in a way that doesn't, it's not distracted. And so the hard part is sort of, in the peripheral vision, keeping your mind on the guitar while you're singing. And so it's kind of a split mind thing, but also you just kind of want to do it. And so it involves, a little bit of coordination. But it's, um, I don't think, I think it's easier playing your own songs
Yeah.
because I made them up, right? And so I'm doing my thing. When I play a Ringo song or anyone's song, it's like, it's a bit more. You feel like you're paying attention to someone else's stuff. I think when you're doing your own songs, you just kind of can go swimming with it.
Um, what was I going to say? Oh, is it a secret the songs you're going to play? Is it better to
Well,
have
I
people
don't know. I
not
think
know?
I'd rather keep them guessing. Just that they're great. I'm doing half a dozen really great songs that Ringo is associated with. He didn't write them all, but one of them was one he wrote. But I don't want to let the cat out of the bag because
Yeah,
I feel like
I
if you're
agree.
gonna if you want to hear him, you got to come, and it's gonna be so much fun.
Yeah,
These things are so much fun, and when Chachi mentioned he's doing a Ringo party, I was like, oh, I would love to do that. Can I sing? And so it's such a joy to sing those songs. I'm gonna have a great time, and I think it's gonna be a blast. And just there's so much joy and love and beauty and excellence in those songs. It's a joy to do them.
it's kind of well serendipitous or coincidental or something that you and I just like 3 weeks ago watched the Get Back uh,
Yeah,
documentary, or a
right.
lot of
At
it.
least one of them. Yeah, right. Yep.
I think we will watch a lot of part two,
Hmm.
and we got to see Ringo's role in the whole thing, which is pretty interesting. Only recently have I come to appreciate Ringo, and just the other day it just popped up. Probably some algorithm knew I was thinking Ringo,
That's scary.
and there was a whole special on Ringo's drumming. And
Wow.
yeah, there was a guy who was a really good drummer, and he spelled it out like what Ringo did, and then he would do what Ringo did on the drums and show people. Oh, he started out with the left. He couldn't.
Right,
He
because he was a lefty playing a right-handed kit,
yeah,
which is a weird thing. But what I found fascinating, and I saw some special about drummers, maybe it was the same one, but they asked Ringo, like, when you're playing a song, what do you think about? And he said the lyrics. The first thing Ringo wanted to see was the lyrics because he wanted to serve the message of the song with his drumming, which I just think's badass.
yep, yeah. So many drummers just want to pound away.
Here's watch me do my Tom fails. It's good for you. It's kind of a high school mentality. No offense against high school kids, but you kind of want to show off. And I was that way when I was first playing guitar. I wanted to like the songs were an excuse for my guitar solo. I get that. But Ringo, I mean, the songs were phenomenal, and he was paying attention to the lyrics, which is just such a beautiful way to focus your participation in music, right? What's the song trying to say, and what's the story, and how do I help tell that story? He was a real genius of assisting with the story, the way he played the drums.
He's still around Boston sometime. Have you ever run into Ringo? Have you ever met him?
No, no. What do you say to somebody like that? Oh my God,
Well,
Ringo.
that's a thing. I mean, I'm sure you've run into some of your musical heroes, like Ian McCulloch, of Echo and the Bunnymen. I've made a mistake of doing that, and it always ends badly. If,
Right,
like
because you're on the
Elton,
wrong side of the fence. Then you're a fan,
yeah,
and you have your
exactly
fingers
right.
through the fence, and they're like, "Oh my God, okay, security." Yeah, so it's
So I
so
did that with Ian McCulloch, and he was lukewarm, and I realized, and I felt it
yeah,
right away. I thought, what am I doing? I'm an idiot.
right,
I go from being a
a fellow human being,
a peer group member of a human being to being
right,
a fan.
fanboy,
So
right.
later on, I just learned, like Nick Cave was at the channel, and
Mhm.
I was working that night being the DJ, and just said, "Yeah, hey Nick, can I get you a coffee or something?" Blah blah blah, and
Yeah,
boom, And if you see somebody on the street that, like, if you see Southside Johnny, I don't know why, whoever you, Eddie Money on the street,
Eddie,
just
he's
give him,
dead, I think.
or more likely Peter Wolf, or maybe Ringo Starr. You might see Ringo because
Yeah.
he has relatives in this area, or a relative
Oh.
anyway, and just give him a nod. Go get a knowing nod and keep walking. Like, boom,
Yeah, it's like if you see him in a
brother.
restaurant,
Just say,
let
brother.
him let him let him finish his meal. Like he's having his creme brulee. You kind of go over there and bug him. Hey, can I take a selfie? It's like, those guys or people at that level, guys or gals, they have no privacy. I mean, can you imagine being that famous? Everywhere you go, people know who you are. What a pain in the ass. I
Yeah,
mean, just to be able to be like a kid from Watertown,
yeah.
you
It
know,
is very much cooler to say, yeah, I met Ringo. I don't know. Did you ask for a selfie? Nah. Than it is
autograph,
to
nah.
get the selfie. You get the selfie.
Because you have the what's that you?
Instantly.
You get to brag about the fact that you're next to somebody who also goes to the bathroom. I mean, it's like it's just another person, and I feel like um, and they long in many ways to just be another person. Obviously, fame has its perks, but I think
Yeah,
sometimes it's just um, they're just another person, and
yeah,
it's hard though. I get that. If I saw Ringo, I would just give him the nod,
yeah.
because really, what are you going to say?
Right, right. By the way, Jeff Berlin is watching. Jeff
Ah,
Berlin says,
hey,
I still
Jeffrey.
have 78 RPM, but not 16 anymore. I don't know where I was in the 16.
I never heard of I never saw a 16 record, but I did see that my turntable went to 16. So I guess that was my solution to learning licks that were too fast for my ears.
All right. Well, I don't want to keep, because I know you got rehearsal to do, and you got a whole lot of other stuff, a lot of
Yeah,
irons in the fire.
indeed.
So we want to thank you for being with us today,
Thank you,
and
Bradley.
urge everyone, as I've really been urging folks the last couple of days, to go to this event. Everyone craves something different, and Dave's been to these. They're very different.
They're
It's
fun.
not a regular show. It's
You know,
much different.
and it's just and that music is just such a joy. And so to be in the winery, have good food, see the Beatles stuff with people who know what they're talking about. He shows movies and stuff.
Rare
And
footage, rare prizes, rare
yeah,
vinyl.
and just to be able to be in a community of people who love the Beatles and who love music, and to hear live music. I want people to sing along as much as I want to be there with the microphone. I want people to be singing along because that's the best part about it is
That's right. You
singing
do
together.
that. You like to do that. By the way, Dave sold out or filled the room at the Haymarket room at City Winery a while ago. I happened to be fortunate enough to be there, and you did the same thing. You had people singing, right?
Yeah, I love that.
All right.
It pulls you together, right? It builds community. It just feels good. It's like I'm going to be singing some songs that are going to that make me joyous, and I hope that people can come and raise their voices with us and just have a great Sunday afternoon. It's going to be a blast.
Yep, noontime. It's a brunch. You can eat. You can have a brunch
A
thing.
mimosa, you can have a
Mimosa.
mimosa.
if you
Yeah,
want
yeah.
a mimosa or two. And it's a different time and it's a good time. And we're looking forward to the whole thing. So I'll see you there, Dave.
Thanks, Bradley.
All right,
Take care.
everybody. Bye for now. We'll be clear in 3